The following audio may contain the personal testimonials of some Optavia coaches or clients of Optavia. The results relayed in these messages are based on the unique experiences of the participants, and we cannot guarantee like or similar outcomes. While you may be inspired by these accounts, please note that any stories of success have not been verified and your individual path to optimal health will vary. As always, it is our recommendation that you consult with a healthcare provider before starting a weight loss program. Yours in health, the Optavia team.
Well, happy Halloween, everybody. Welcome to the Optavia Habits of Health call. I got my costume on. Yeehaw! It's so fun. We love to be with our Optavia community, no matter what day it is. Okay, so tonight we have an amazing Habits of Health call for you. And whether you are joining us live or you are joining us via playback on our YouTube Optavia channel or our Optavia Habits of Health podcast, we are so glad that you are here. And this call is really unique. It's for a lot of different types of people. Number one, maybe you are in weight loss phase right now. Or two, maybe you are transitioning. You've reached your healthy weight and transitioning into that long-term optimization phase, which is the third one, which is being healthy for the long term for life. Also, we have lots of different types of people joining us. You may be an Optavia client, you may be an Optavia coach, or one of our Optavia coach health professionals, or maybe you're just checking us out, like, what's this Optavia community all about anyhow? So no matter who you are, we are glad that you're here, and we're so excited to give you some tips and tricks to really be successful throughout the end of this year. We have some holidays coming up. Actually, we are right smack dab in the middle of the holiday. In fact, it's Halloween today. If you're listening to the playback, you're probably a week or more out, but it's Halloween. So if you hear my doorbell ring, that is your cue to grab your water bottle and take a big chug of water, because that is one of our healthy habits. So we'll see if that happens during our call tonight. So we're going to go ahead and jump in to our topic, which is thriving through the holidays. So first off, everybody has their pet holidays, right? Put in the chat, what's your pet holiday? That means, what's your favorite holiday? What's the one that kind of gets you? Is it Halloween? Is it Christmas? Is it your birthday? Is it Flag Day? Oh, there's my doorbell. Time to get a drink of water. So what, put in there, oh, I see Easter, Mother's Day, Christmas. I'm seeing a lot of Christmas. Okay, so this is a timely topic for right now, because the next 2 months, we are going to be going into a lot of holidays. And we want to really equip you so that you're prepared mentally to be able to thrive, not just survive the holidays. So what's this term, surviving versus thriving? So I wanted to give you guys some statistics here. So 90% of our country are non-sick, with unhealthy choices heading them toward disease. So sometimes we think, oh, I don't have diabetes yet. I don't have heart disease yet. I haven't had a heart attack yet. That's no way to live. In Optavia, we want to help you thrive and strive for your optimal health. So 90% of our country, non-sick, with those unhealthy choices heading them towards those diseases. Number two, our medical industry is focused on sick care, not health care. How many times do you go to your doctor and just get that well checkup, and he or she gives you all these good ideas about how you can really optimize your health? Well, if you have a really good doctor, which you may, then you're lucky. A lot of times you only go in if you're sick to see what's wrong and to slap some medication on it. And that brings me to the next point. The US spends over $2.3 trillion per year on healthcare, 500 billion of that on pharmaceuticals. And the US makes up less than 5% of the world's population, but makes up almost 50% of the global market for prescription medications. And what this equals is a lot of people in our country right now, they are just surviving. They're either in that non-sick area or heading down. They're already sick. They already have those medications. They're already dealing with a lot of these diseases. But we want optimal health for all of you Optivians out there. We want to focus on a lot of different areas, and we're going to be giving you some ideas tonight about weight management, healthy mind, eating and hydration, motion, sleep, healthy surroundings. These are the macro habits of health that Dr. A outlines in his Habits of Health system. And really, we as Optivians, it's not just about losing weight. Sure, some of us come into this program because we felt like we wanted to lose some weight, but once we really dove into the real program, connected with our coach, we found out that there was a lot more to it. So I want to start off by bringing on one of our certified Optavia coaches, Lauri Warren, so that she can share with us her story of the holidays. Lauri, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me, Amber?
Yep, go ahead. Tell us a little bit about it.
I'm so excited to share because I started the Optavia program just a little over 2 years ago. So in the beginning of October of 2016, and October was great. Halloween hit. I was in fat burn, feeling great, down several pounds, and just so excited about the progress that I was seeing. Halloween wasn't that hard for me. I had talked to my coach. We came up with plans, just kind of sailed through it, stayed away from the candy, didn't open it, didn't smell it, and just kind of pressed through that. It was awesome. And then I had a birthday hit. And again, I connected with my coach, and she talked me through some plans of how to plan for that birthday, and just kept moving right along. And then Thanksgiving hit. And Thanksgiving, again, I talked to my coach. We came up with a plan, but I had all kinds of family coming in, and things got busy and crazy. And I had some of those influencers who were like, oh, you don't have to stick to it, you know, like just have fun for a few days. And I kind of gave in a little bit. So instead of just like one meal, it was like a few, like 3 or 4 days of not being exactly doing what I should do. And the next week on Monday, when it was my weigh-in day and I got on the scale, I was backwards a few pounds, like 3 pounds. And in the beginning, I was just sad, and then I was mad. And I really had to take a step back and think, oh my gosh, you know, do I really want to do this? Do I want to throw in the towel? Do I want to stop? And I had to go back to when I very first talked to my coach about the reasons why I wanted to start the program. And so I started thinking about, remember, like I said, I want to be that grandma that can get down on the ground and play with the grandkids and get back up without someone having to pull her up. And I want to be healthy and active for the next 25 years of my life. I've been working on this, trying to get this 30 pounds off for about 25 years. And I was having success, so I didn't want it to stop. And so for Christmas going forward, I had to spend a week kind of getting those 3 pounds off and then moving forward again. And so for Christmas, I was like, I am planning differently. I am watching those webinars. I am reading those emails. I am talking to my coach and making a plan and sticking to it. So when I went to the holiday parties, because there just seemed to be a lot of holiday parties that year, I followed those things that I had learned in the webinars. So I would eat a nice lean and green before I stepped into a party. And I would have a fueling in my purse. And I would even have a special drink or you know, my big giant water bottle, and I would just walk around the party with that. And I would stay away from the food table like I had learned, and I focused on my friends and my family. And I really found as I did that, I just started having this feeling of being kind of open to that idea that maybe I could be that person who chose the healthy choice. Instead of listening to that recording that had been in my head that, oh, I just love food too much, I can't do this, and I started thinking about, wow, like that's kind of empowering, like I made it through the party and I felt great the next day. And then just like each one, I just was able to do that easier because the last one I had gotten through successfully. And then Christmas Day, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, I was able to plan well for that and have like a nice lean green as the base of my meal. And the day after Christmas, I hit my goal. And that was the best Christmas present ever. And I realized that the challenges of the holidays had actually helped strengthen me. And I think helped me realize that that I could be that healthy person who made those choices. And it's helped me in the following 2 years to maintain and to just feel great.
I love that, Lauri. Oh my goodness, that is such an amazing story. And so many good things that you shared are some of the tips that we're going to be sharing tonight. Goes right along with it. It's true principles, and you'll see that across the board. So since tonight is Halloween, I thought we'd start with a couple of Halloween tips. Dr. A talks about really having a micro environment of health around you. Now, I asked earlier in the call, what's your pet holiday? If Halloween is your pet holiday, then hopefully these tips will help you just a little bit. Some healthy tips for kids, because really we want to raise up Optivians. We want to help them instill those good, healthy habits for the long term. So feed your kids dinner before they go out trick-or-treating. Allow them to pick a few of their favorites and then buy the rest. I don't know about your kids, but my kids love money more than candy. I found this out a few years ago. They think money is so fun because they can buy Legos or toys at the dollar store or whatever. And I love this tip. Make parties about fun rather than food. This is a huge one because really what at the base level are holidays about? It's about spending time with the people that we love. And I love this tip. Stock up on healthier treats for your kids. Popcorn, nuts, dried fruit. There's a lot of different options. And in fact, if you look at these pictures here, these are examples of the Halloween party that my volleyball friends and I threw the other night. And we had so much fun. Probably like 75% are Optivians who were at the party. And you would not believe the amount of veggie trays and here, let me go to the next slide. These little ghost string cheeses were there, the tangerines were there, all these things. It was just adorable. And you know what? We had so much fun, and I think somebody brought banana bread, but that was probably the only thing you couldn't eat on like a full 5-minute plan. So it was such a great party, and you can really look at your environment and you can be that change for your family, for your friends. Bring the healthy thing and people will go, I kind of want that. Ooh, that's cute. So here's some other healthy tips. Stay hydrated. Eat every few hours, keeping your blood sugar steady and even. Hand out non-food items. This is what my family does. We stock up on the sticky hands and bouncy balls, glow sticks, spider rings, and the little kids love it. We just have a big cauldron and they choose what their favorite is. And this one has been huge for me, is getting your kids' candy out of the house. Because if it's there, if it's in your environment, it's going to be a whole lot harder to say no. So there's a few Halloween tips for tonight. But I also want to really equip you with some concrete, good methods for you to be successful throughout, not just the next 2 months and the holidays, because guess what? When I asked earlier, what's your pet holiday? A lot of them were all throughout the entire year. That is, it's the secret, is that it's always a holiday, it's always a party, it's always a birthday. So really what you want to do is have those habits of health for the long term. So the 4 components, I love that Lauri shared this. When she was wanting to get back on track, when she was wanting to get focused again, she went back to the basics. She said, what was my why? Why did I want to start this? Why did I really want to be healthier at the very beginning? And then she went back to the basic 4 components, connected with her coach, started hopping on the webinars again, connecting with the community, really taking a look at her 5 and 1, or am I really doing my feelings? Am I doing my lean and green correctly? And diving into Dr. Ray's Habits of Health book. It's so elementary, it's so simple that sometimes we don't do it. So limiting beliefs. Why don't you take a second, if you're joining us live, and type in the chat, what are some of the thoughts that start popping into your head around the holidays that might hold you back from staying on your program 100%? Just go ahead and type some thoughts that might come in. So one of them that I can think of, oh, there's my doorbell, trick or treat, time to drink a big drink of water. Okay, family traditions. I'll just have one bite won't hurt me, just one cookie. I won't be able to eat this till next year. Too many food temptations. Okay, oh, culture, holiday parties, I'm lazy. Oh, there's a lot of good ones coming in on the chat. There's so many limiting beliefs that we have. And if you're joining us during podcast, I'm showing a picture of there's a man and he's swimming in a lake. And he's holding a heavy rock. And on the rock, it says, why I can't do it. And those are our concepts, our limiting beliefs, or our problems. And he's just like kicking his legs as fast as he can to try to just get his nose out of the water so that he can breathe. And there is a dock and a path that goes up a hill that is the path to optimal health. And then at the top is your vision and your goals. And here's the trick. All he has to do is let go of that rock. And it would be so easy to swim to the dock and get to your goals. So there's all these limiting beliefs, there's these concepts, there's these problems that we see as something that's holding us back, as something that we're not sure that we can get past. And we hold on to that. He's holding on to it so tightly and kicking his legs as much as he can, when how much easier it is to just let go of that. And to hear that thought and to go, okay, so that's the tradition, is that we stuff our face full of all this unhealthy calories and we sit around all day and watch TV and we don't drink, and we drink, soda all day, whatever it is. And you can say, that doesn't have to define me. So we're gonna go over some of those concepts, some of those ideas on how to get past those limiting beliefs after Brandy's story. So I asked Brandy Orr, who is both a certified Optavia coach and a nurse practitioner, to join us tonight and to share a little bit about her story and the holidays. Brandy, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep, loud and clear.
Great. Well, thank you for this opportunity for me to share my story. I was thinking back last fall, my husband and I, we were not in a good place. And boy, could we really relate to that surviving, Amber, that you're talking about. I mean, we had poor health. We had poor habits. We were eating unhealthy. We were overweight, and we felt it. I mean, we were tired and didn't feel well. So it was just before the holidays. And frankly, I was terrified of the holidays coming forward, because it just caused another perfect storm for us to have, not enough sleep and to feel tired and to eat, have all of these parties and temptations and things that would be hard for us to resist. So I was really praying intently on some sort of answer and searching for something, because it's one thing when you yourself don't feel well, but I also could see the effects it was having on my family and my young children who were at home. And that was it really was breaking my heart. I did not know the answers. And that was humbling, because here I am, a medical professional. I had worked in medicine and treated patients for 30 years, and I didn't have the answers. And so in really my searching, I was so grateful and blessed that right before the holidays, I started seeing a trend in my practice. And that was people coming into the office who were saying they were losing weight. And I'm really fortunate to work with a great patient population. I work with people who have pulmonary conditions, A lot of them have sleep breathing disorders, so I treat a lot of sleep apnea, which is caused a lot of the times by being overweight in individuals. So when I started seeing that these people were coming in and being successful in losing weight, I was very interested, and I'd always ask them how and what they were doing. So they would tell me about this program called Optavia, and that interested me a little. But really what caught my attention was when this one man in particular said that he had lost 50 pounds, and he wanted me to test to see if he really needed his therapy for sleep apnea. And he said the way that he had done it was by balancing his blood sugars and eating 6 meals that were balanced with protein and carbohydrate. And my ears perked up because I knew right off that this was medical sound advice that he was being taught. I knew the effects of blood sugar and insulin in our appetites and in our weight. And when he started mentioning that, other habits were being taught to him, like sleep, drinking water, exercising, and not some crazy plan that was not doable. It was things that were really logical and sound. So really what helped me, and I'm so grateful because this gentleman said, you could call my coach. And I thought, well, yes, I could. So he gave me the most wonderful coach's number. I went and called her right after I left his appointment. I walked out of the exam room. I went right to my office and I called Katie Frampton, who was so warm and absolutely just wonderful to talk to. She explained to me a little more about the program, and I signed my husband and myself up right then, and went home and told Marty, my husband, that we were going to start this awesome plan a couple days before Christmas. And he was on board. And I'll tell you why. It's because even though Christmas is a time when we're celebrating, it's also a time where people want to have health. They want to know what we can do to actually be successul in feeling better. During the holidays, we can be a little bit stressed out. We can have all of these things that are working against us. Well, if we think about the 4 components of Optavia, we have the habits of health that we're reading and learning and being encouraged with sound medical advice. We have a coach who is supporting us. We have the fuelings that help us to be structured during this time so that we're not having to make those choices and feel like we have to decide what we already know what we're going to have to nourish our body and to help us feel better. So because of that, learning about Optavia, implementing it before the holidays was an absolute blessing and gift for us and our family. We enjoyed the holidays hugely. We felt more in the moment, and even though we still had huge parties with our family and hosted those parties, we were able to serve healthy options and really enjoy our holidays. So I thought it was just a great time for us to do this program.
Awesome, Brandy. Thank you so much for sharing your story. I think that it's so huge to hear stories of people who thrive through the holidays, because those limiting beliefs that hold us back, oh, trick or treat, drink your water. There's my doorbell again. Okay, so we want to give you some tools to be able to really thrive through the holidays. And one thing that Dr. A has taught us in the Habits of Health is this method called Stop, Challenge, Choose. So let's give an example. So maybe your boss yells at you, or maybe the candy is staring at you because it's in the bowl waiting for the trick-or-treaters. Whatever it is, there's a stimulus. And this is an example of the habits of disease loop. Then, so you see it, you eat it, and all of a sudden you feel a little better. Your emotion is soothed. And you know what happens the next time is your brain remembers that. But guess how long that lasts? Not very long. It doesn't last very long at all. So instead, what we want to do is we want to create a new habit loop. So let's say your boss yells at you, or you're staring down that bowl of candy. Then instead, you need to do something new. Break this chain. Maybe a breathing exercise. Even right now, let's take a few deep breaths in, out. In, out. Put in the chat if you did the breathing, if that even helped you a little bit by taking 2 deep breaths. I'm seeing a lot of yeses come in, even 2 deep breaths. That literally took a couple of seconds. That soothes your emotion. It centers your brain and helps you to make that better decision. And the more you practice this, then the easier it becomes. And that becomes your automatic habit loop instead. So while you're doing the stop, challenge, choose, you stop, you see something that you need to make a choice about. And you can ask yourself some questions. First, am I hungry or am I thirsty? Maybe you need a fueling. Maybe you need some water. Maybe you really do need to make sure your body has what it needs. And then ask yourself, am I emotional? Will this fix my problem? If you're thinking of choosing something that's not best for your health, how will I feel in an hour? How will I feel tomorrow? How will I feel next year? Will I regret eating the candy bar, or will I be happy that I chose something healthier? What are my goals and what do I want most? And I love this quote. Will you give up what you want most for what you feel like in the moment? Sometimes we make these snap decisions, and even just taking a second, asking yourself some of these questions, taking 2 deep breaths, it makes it much easier to make a good decision that really supports your goals. And this is what you want, what you really want from a deep level. So another question is, am I falling for a food fallacy? So I saw a lot of these earlier in the chat. The first one, it's free. Do you ever do this at the store when they're giving out samples and I gotta eat all the samples because it's free? Guess what? It's okay. You don't have to eat it just because it's free, or it's a rare opportunity. Oh my goodness, they only have candy corns during October, only once a year. Okay, guys, really? They're gonna have candy corns till the end of time. I don't even think they go bad. I don't even think they expire. Those things are disgusting, but it's a rare opportunity. And if it really is a rare opportunity, make that choice. If your favorite great aunt is on her last day on this earth and she made her pie that is her specialty recipe, and you're never gonna have, maybe you are gonna choose to have a piece of it, and then choose that, and then get right back on your healthy program. Here's another one, I shouldn't waste food. Do you wanna waste it, or do you wanna waste it on your waist, right? Or I paid good money for it. All you can eat buffets. I'm not gonna call David out, but he was telling me about his Chinese buffet habits. Or I'll be missing out on the fun. This is a huge one, especially around holidays. But really shifting that mindset and saying, what is the fun really about? Is it about eating, or is it about being with people? To both Brandy and Lauri's point earlier that they shared, it's really about the people. It's about the environment. Or I love food too much. Taking on this identity that says that you're stuck in a path. Instead, shift to that growth mindset and say, I can learn to love healthy food. I'm excited about fueling my body with good nutrition. I'm excited about how I feel. I feel too good to eat that junk food, guys. Like, that is the honest truth. After 15 years, I lost my weight 15 years ago. I love how I feel too much. And then just to wrap up, be very conscious of when you are blasted. So blasted is an acronym that stands for bored, lonely, angry, stressed, tired, excited, depressed. And this is where you're going to really want to hone in and be very aware and to know, okay, right now I've got to do all these presentations at work and I have a team event this weekend or whatever it is, and go, okay, I'm stressed. So I need to be hyper-focused on making sure my environment reflects something that will support my goals. Or if you know you're bored, like when you're watching TV or when you're alone. There was someone in the chat that brought this up, that around the holidays, if you're alone, it's maybe your habit to turn to food and saying, where can I go? Where can I be part of a community where I can be with other people who have similar goals as I do? And ding, 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 Optivians, plug in or become a coach. And you'll get that even higher level of being part of a community of people who really care about your success and paying it forward and helping somebody else on their road. Boy, that is the ticket for me, at least, to know that I can really make those better decisions. I know if I have a whole community of people linking arms with me, then I'm going to be better off long term. So hopefully we've given you some good tools and some inspiration to not just get through it, but to thrive through the holidays and beyond, because we want optimal health for the long term. So thanks for joining us tonight.
This audio may have contained the personal testimonials of some Optavia coaches or clients of Optavia. The results relayed in these messages are based on the unique experiences of the participants, and we cannot guarantee like or similar outcomes. While you may be inspired by these accounts, please note that any stories of success have not been verified and your individual path to optimal health will vary. As always, it is our recommendation that you consult with a healthcare provider before starting a weight loss program. Yours in health, the Optavia team.